Hey everyone, CWD Music Reviews here. I'm CWD and this is going to be a music review of the new Iggy Pop album, Post Pop Depression. Iggy Pop, the man, the dude, probably rock and punk music's most invaluable figure. He's been known for being the frontman for the Stooges, as well as his own solo career. The Stooges I am a big fan of. The Stooges were, if you're not in the know, a Detroit punk band, proto-punk band, that really changed the game for rock music. Iggy himself providing himself as this antithesis to what the Rolling Stones were doing. Like, he was like the doppelganger to Mick Jagger. Not able to sing at all, but still delivering this like really ferocious energy. So fast forward to now, we have a new album from Iggy, and one notable thing is that he is getting assistance from none other than Mr. Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age. So I thought that was intriguing. I thought that was worth looking into, certainly. And of course I decided to look into it. Now this album's about 9 tracks in length, about 41 minutes. It's not like a lengthy affair. It's not overstaying its welcome. And I gotta say that the instrumentals on this album, for the most part, are really good. The track Break Into Your Heart has like this really gorgeous vibe with a distant Middle Eastern guitar and like really steady pace as it builds quite well. Gardenia's got a really catchy groove. It's got a really strong post-punk vibe. American Valhalla has like this really rumbling bass part that I enjoy a lot, as well as some like vibraphone that's really plinkly. In the Lobby has a really strong garage punk Queens of the Stone Age vibe. There's actually quite a few tracks on this album that have this kind of a Queens of the Stone Age vibe to them, and that's not surprising given the guy providing most of these instrumentals. Can't say the same for the drums though. The drumming is actually being done by none other than the founding member of Arctic Monkeys. The track Vulture has like this really sinister acoustic guitar guiding through it. Even if the hook is a little lazy, but still, it builds well. It's really desert-like, again, kind of Queens of the Stone Age-ish. German Days is another highlight of mine in terms of instrumentation. It's got like this really nice guitar, bass syncopation that I like a lot. There's like this rhythm switch and that goes for, and it builds quite well until it gets to the outro when that same guitar, bass syncopation comes back. I guess my only complaint with this track is, in terms of the instrumentation, is I guess it seems kind of off-kilter and a bit lazy to just bring that intro and use it as the outro and have that guide out. I mean, it's a cool little lick, but still. The only track that I really don't like is Chocolate Drops. It seems kind of mid-paced, subdued. There's like this piano that seems really eerie, and the overall vibe of this track is not really something I gravitate to. Though the closing track on this album, Paraguay, really good song instrumentally, and it builds really well. The main instrumental composition that it uses is nice too. It certainly sets the stage and builds well, especially when it gets to the last half when that same vibe comes back and really just goes for an explosive finish. Now, again, these are really interesting tracks instrumentally, but the main Achilles heel for me on this album is how it is Iggy himself is being treated on this album. Now, this isn't me saying, oh, well, Iggy Pop's vocals have faded with time. That's not it at all. I think for his age, he's still able to keep a solid and eccentric nature about himself. It's just that it seems overshadowed by these instrumentals, and it doesn't become apparent until after the third track. I can't really say that anything Iggy is doing is significant on these few tracks. The tracks that I do like a lot, borderline love, are the ones where Iggy himself is not only having presence on his own album, but also doing this particularly well. Like on Break Into Your Heart, where he sounds really haunting and, like I said, Doors-ish as he's bellowing out, I'm gonna break into your heart, as well as Gardenia. He also has this spoken word that I enjoy quite a bit. Again, adds presence to this track. American Valhalla is also cool. Again, has vocal presence, especially on the last half of the instrumentals going, and he's just kind of whispering, I have nothing but my name. And then after that, the only one I can say that really grips me was Vulture. as he sounds really sinister and really decrepit on this track, as he's talking about, I guess, literal and figurative vultures, about not just like, you know, birds flying around for dead carcasses, but also like entrepreneurs that are trying to reap the benefits of the dead and the disadvantage. I love this line where he says, "When you hop on this bandwagon, it's your corpse I'll be dragging." But that's it. Like German Days, In the Lobby, Sunday, these are tracks that Iggy sounds really inconspicuous on. Especially Sunday, where on this instrumental it's not only a needlessly long song, but there's really awkward background vocals, and there's like this transition that seemed cool at first, and I thought it was just going to just evenly transition into the next track, but nope, it just ends and then Vulture starts. And it's even at its worst at Chocolate Drops, where it just sounds really subdued and just not really any bit enthusiastic about this instrumental whatsoever. In the closing track, Paraguay, that looked like it was going to be the case again, but get back to more spoken word from Iggy, which I started getting excited for, especially as the instrumental was building. And while I do like what he is saying about this digital information age where it expels all anonymity and fear, intrigue, and all that, he wants to just rebel against this and go to a place like Paraguay where it's not so prevalent. And it's hilarious when he's talking about how he wants to shove a laptop into someone's mouth. He described his mouth as like a shit-stained gizzard or something like that. Eventually this person like craps this laptop out and the security system like sounds out the words that it was making as it was going through the rectum and all that. That was funny, but this spoken word just sounded like forced, really. Just overly awkward, and it doesn't work to its benefit. I mean, it's funny and I like what he's saying. It just doesn't seem presented all that well, at least for me anyway. So overall, yeah, I really wanted to love this album. I really wanted to dig the hell out of it, but I ended up just thinking it's just pretty decent and not like great. If Homme kept into mind that the person that he was giving instrumentals to, delivering this backbone for, needed to come off as eccentric and like the star of his own album, then maybe this would have been a great album, but I can't say that that's the case. Yeah, this was pretty disappointing for me, honestly. These instrumentals are ranging from really good to great, but I can't say that they flatter what it is Iggy is doing. Matter of fact, they overshadow what Iggy is doing for the most part. If this was a Queens of the Stone Age album, or like a Josh Homme solo album or something like that, then this probably would have turned out really differently and for the better, but as an album for punk music's most influential human being, this doesn't do it for me. This album is a plus 1.4 out of plus 3. If you're already a big Iggy fan, you should definitely check this out. If you're a big Queens of the Stone Age guy, check this out. This isn't a bad album per se, it's a good album, it's just not reaching to the expectations that I wish that it reached for. It's disappointing in that regard, but definitely still something worth checking out. But if you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you like this album? Did you dislike this album? What was your reasoning for that? And what should I consider listening to and reviewing next? This is CWD Music Reviews here, signing off.